Okay, we're getting into that time of the year where everybody's starting to think about putting in the garden, and we still can see frost and freeze conditions across our part of the Gulf Coast even into April. Now, a freeze in early April would be pretty unusual, and frost is still possible for the first week or two, so there's no rush in putting in that garden, and it depends on where you are. If you're south of I-10, you might be okay. But if you're north of I-10 or along I-10, you're probably going to need to wait. And areas that are up along Highway 84 and up into Clark County and Washington County, you really need to wait. Maybe even a little closer to Easter to put in that garden. And one thing to remember is that these tomato plants that you're itching to get into the ground, they really don't grow that well when it's chilly at night anyway. You really need to have warm days and mild nights to get those tomatoes to kick off and go. So we're almost there. We're just not quite there yet. And meteorologist Matt Barrentine has an update on some of the planting zones, a little bit more detailed information on this here on this edition of Next Weather.
From March into April, there are some changes here on the plant zones here in our area from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. It used to be that a lot of our area was in an 8B. A lot of our area now has been moved into 9A. So when you go to the store and you buy your plants, they come with those little cards. Keep in mind, a lot of us now are in a 9A zone across the area. So here's what that means as far as getting these plants in the ground and what you can expect here as you get your flowers and your fruits and your veggies. Lima beans can go ahead and get planted. They can also get planted in May and June. Snap beans, though, need to go ahead and get on in the ground. Cucumbers need to get in the ground as well. Peas, like black-eyed peas, can wait a little bit. Sunflowers, you can go ahead and get those in the ground as well as we move into April. Let's check out a few other ones. I got tomatoes. You notice I have a little asterisk there next to tomatoes because there are a large variety of tomatoes, and there are different plantings for different types of tomatoes. So you need to once again check out the little card that comes with it. Most of our tomatoes can wait a little bit before they're planted. Cantaloupe, though, cannot. You need to go and get those in the ground. Peppers you can get in the ground as well. Basil, one of my favorites. I don't have a green thumb. Basil is one of the few things I can grow pretty well. I like to make my own pesto, so I tend to grow this every year, but I usually use pots. And I put several basil plants in there. The key to basil is make sure you trim it properly so that it grows nice and bushy and it keeps growing well. But basil can be planted here over the next several months. Oregano needs to get in the ground now. So like I said, I know a lot of folks are itchy to get out there in the garden, get things working. Looking ahead through the long range forecast, we are going to stay warm, so I don't think we're going to have any issues. So I think it's a good time to get out there, get in your garden, and get things going. Just remember, we have now been moved into a 9A zone across much of the area, so keep that in mind when you check out those little cards there that come with the plants. Good luck. I'm meteorologist Matt Barrentine for Fox 10 News.